These were plastic, and they eventually shrunk and expanded and shrunk. So
yeah.
most of them have fallen out.
That looks close.
So these are replacements that we painted the back white so that when it has, when it's inlaid, it'll have
It'll be brighter, be illuminated.
Right.
So what year is this? This is a banjo
60s,
neck, obviously, right?
Middle 60s.
Middle 60s?
Yeah.
No, I looked it up. It's actually 50s. Late
50s?
Yeah. Late
50s
40s,
Gretsch New Yorker.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that the
You
pan?
can tell by the lacquer, it's the checking, it's real old school. And it's something a little unusual.
It's got a picture of some ugly dude in there, look.
And unusual in that it has, you can tell it's got some weight to it. It has an aluminum
Holy
tone.
moly.
Brass is sort of became the norm.
That's the right size.
That is heavy, man.
This one.
So what we'll have to do is spin this
Bring that
backwards
backwards, and clean that hole.
and then clean the hole and then kind
That's
of
why I
run
scrape it
forward
at
till we
first to get that stuff that's on top.
So you're using a drill bit and spinning it counterclockwise.
Yeah, backwards.
Yeah.
So it will kind of ream its way into the hole and center.
Yeah. What are you doing with the razor blade here? You just scraping off schmutz or what?
Yeah, and just leveling it just from the wood moving.
Yeah.
And then if you can see here, the shiny spots, there's still divots.
Oh yeah, big divots.
So see, I can kind of.
Is that just from finger playing over the years?
That is. I'm gonna go in.
Are you going to do anything with the banding on this neck, or are you going to redo?
Absolutely not. No, that,
no, you're going to leave
that,
it.
No.
Will you try and clean that at all, or is it better just to
Why?
leave it schmutzed?
That's honor.
You just answered me. You said why? That's honor.
Sexy Italian guy with a scar on his face.
Yeah.
Those are right.
What is coming through there, dude? What's going on here?
Now that is actually something different. That has to do with.
Oh, that's a string.
It's sort of like a drop. Yeah, a string goes down through here, a high string.
Yeah.
And you can hook it right there, and it makes this string. It changes the pitch of it. Sort of like
So
a
you
D10.
hook it underneath it?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
Matter of fact, it actually has a chromatic capo that goes with it.
Let me get close to that thing. I just want to see.
One time, yeah.
I've always wanted to fix a transmission.
So our calibration.
This is Phil's version of rock and roll.
Our calibration.
He said we're going to put on some rock and roll. And
This says, Kevin picked this music.
Kevin did?
He did.
He said Neil Sedaka.
You damn right, baby.
Nielsen. Really?
That's what he said.
And I was saying that Neil Sedaka used to kill on the Midnight Special.
None of them.
Don Kirshner's rock concert.
Don Kirshner's rock concert. I remember Don Kirshner. You guys watch Jules Holland? I love that shit.
Oh man, that was great.
He's got some good shit.
They were, you know, they've got all the different bands in a circle.
Put on some Police or something, man. Yeah, right?
Just go in there to make it kind of obvious.
Where the heck the hole is? There's a dose on there, right? Yeah.
That's a deucer.
Dosey-do.
In the bending, we call that a deucer.
Yeah, you're going to drop a deuce on this banjo, is that what it is?
Paddle faster. Getting an ounce of, I'm just seeing if there's any spurs, and so far I've got rid of them with a razor blade. And that's clear. And I wiped it down with alcohol so the tape will
I smell it.
adhere.
That's dry.
What kind of wood is it?
It's probably some sort of, back in those days they were using dyed poplar and things like that.
Yeah.
People have no idea how long that we have not used rosewood and ebony.
Oh, I'm sure, right? I mean, it took a while to figure these things out, right?
Well,
It's not like people were making guitar. How long have people been making guitars? 100 years?
yeah. Oh no. Guitars go back about 450 years.
Well, they
Well-
go back to the lute, which goes back to the.
Well, yeah, I mean, recognizable today as a
I'm
guitar.
talking about recognizable. You can play it now today. Guitar.
6-string,
Yeah.
fretboard, the whole
450
thing.
years ago.
450.
They might have had rope frets, or they might have they literally tied twine around the neck.
Yeah.
That was your fret. Yeah, and they didn't invent metal frets until the 1800s.
Yeah, that's where that song came from. Because you're mine, I pick my twine. I don't know if you heard that. That's about Jamie Kay. He's a good one. Well, kind of what Brewster and I are trying to do is.
So
all
how do
this
you know
kind
the
of-
depth to go down to there,
I
boss?
don't. I'm guessing. But the other thing is these are so tight
Yeah.
that we're going down to flush, and that's where we stop.
Oh,
So it's okay if it's a little bit deeper.
I got you. So as long as you're using something like this, it's not or not sharp enough to scratch anything, and not deep enough to punch it past flush. You're good.
Right.
Gotcha.
Proud would be the term for that. If it's a little slightly higher than the
It's proud.
surface.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Looks pretty good.
It's gonna be a neat piece, though.
Okay. That one's proud.
I gotta do a little.
That's a tad too, but that feels good. Or am I feeling the
Well, the
binding?
other thing,
I might be
too,
feeling
is-
the binding.
The other thing too is he's got some scratches in it. You see it go That way?
That's I wasn't sure if I was feeling that being proud or if it was. I learned a new term, proud. I'm going to say that as much as I can.
Well, we're proud for you.
Thank you. I'm proud too.
Proud pride. Buddy, I tell you what, he had an absolute.
So that one, what I'm going to do there, because it's got some scratch marks in it, I don't care for. I'm going to take a small stick that's wide, thinner than this is.
Yeah.
And put some low grade sandpaper on it, and just kind of file that smooth so it's nice and polished.
Gotcha.
And that'll make it look nicer.
Nice. All your little tricks
Yeah, I
of
was
the
actually
trade.
thinking of gluing a piece of sandpaper to a paddle.
Yeah.
Idea. All right.
I've got several little sticks that are like thick, but they're shallow. What we're going to do here now is
Fixing the gully.
Well, where's the squire at?
it's in a box over there on the other side, right there
I'll
under the
be sure to
joiner.
get that tomorrow. And then
What's it worth, Ken?
Anything that could get damaged, because we are going to redo all these shelves and all this stuff, and we kind of need to get as much stuff out of here as we can so that we can get room to move, shuffle things around.
Are you gonna sell the Squire?
when it gets built, no.
Okay, so first we're going to get a little ultra thin, water thin super glue. Extreme power thin.
Okay,
That's what
so
I'm
you got to
using.
be thin, eh?
Yeah, ultra thin. You'll see what's going to happen in a second. I'm just going to put that right on there, and it's going to literally see how it wandered around. It literally ran around that circle.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kind of
We had adhesion.
we're kind of help it along just a touch.
I got brand new
Don't
gold.
leave it in Bruce's way because he'll throw it in the wrong basket.
Dude, I've already thrown a bunch of stuff away that I shouldn't have.
Gotcha. And this is
Didn't
gonna-
mean to, just didn't know better.
What are we doing here? This is sealing that in.
This
and
is
filling
sealing that
gully?
in. It is sealing that in, and it's going to seal in all those little wood fibers around it that are problematically old and dry.
Yeah.
And then with super glue, got to be quick.
No shit. Otherwise, you're gonna have.
Otherwise, you'll glue this down to the thing,
Yeah,
and
you
you'll have
certainly will.
toilet paper or
Yeah,
whatever.
you've got a little schmutz on there from that glue. You just scraped that off with your.
Right.
Gotcha.
Button 106 and just leave the keys in the door, and I'm 2 minutes behind. I gotta leave just enough time.
And then one of the things, the trick here is
There you
we're
go,
going to
bro.
take some of that dust that we just
Yeah.
scraped up there,
Yeah.
and we filled up that little hole.
I'll see you next time.
All right, brother. All right.
And that will fill up the
Light
hole.
off, you can see in there. It's
There you go.
serious.
Yep.
Buff up that pearl a little bit, and you're good.
All right.
And
Look at that.
Put that on.
it actually gets a little bit of an aged look to it. See those little dark lines? We can make them go away. We can get
Just want to
cleaner.
see it. I want to make sure that I got a picture, a shot of that without the light glare. Let me see it. Yeah. That looks very cool. Very cool.
Ease it.
You want the hemos?
No, Hemos wouldn't get it. There we go.
There it is. So that's how you pull it out when it's.
Yeah.
So why did you stop? It was proud. The other ones were proud, and you just kept going because it was too proud.
Well, I can't.
There's just
like
like this
you
feeling
said,
like you're like a.
you can't tell how far you've gone.
Oh. So you might have been at the bottom of the hole anyway.
I might have been. In fact, I thought I was,
See,
but that doesn't
some
mean that I
of
can
those
tell
holes
for
that have
sure.
been empty for quite a while.
Yeah.
That wood in there actually.
Well, it
kinda
swells
built
and
up,
does
yeah.
all sorts of weird things.
It
So you just don't even know.
I got you.
Just
So why did they make it a steel pot
It's not steel.
or
It's
cast
cast aluminum.
aluminum? Why would
Most
they do
of the
that?
time
Because
you
isn't
would
it
have-
supposed to be brass or bell brass, like a
Some of
resonator
them-
or something like
some
that?
of them were. Like I've got an 18 70s
Yeah, you got
age
your
French
great
Banjo.
grandma's.
Yeah, and it's a wooden pot wrapped in brass, sheet brass, and then it was originally plated, but the plating's all worn off. And then it had a tone ring that set up on top, and then the head was a calf head that went over, and had a little thin, small, like 1/8 inch diameter metal hoop, and they kind of ran it down and up and back, and then put the head over it and put all these lugs on it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
Then they trimmed the head where all back in those days you soak the calf head in water
to stretch it on there, and then when it dried, it would
when it
taut.
dried. Yeah, when it dried, that would tighten up. There's not many people even know how to do that anymore.
It's like,
It's a dying art.
well, I mean, and that's old.
Very,
I mean,
that
that's.
was
I mean, you can find
1870s.
references. Well, you can find references that to wine casks in the Bible, right?
Yeah,
And
right.
new wine casts and stuff like that.
Well, they were not cast. They were skins.
They were skins, yes. Yeah, they were skins.
Wine bladders. Yeah.
Yeah. So why aluminum? Why cast aluminum?
Well, I imagine at the time, because you got to remember this was coming out of the war, right? At 52.
Yeah.
I imagine the new technologies at the time with casting aluminum were probably like pretty attractive to guys who were wanting to make, a rather complicated arrangement, because normally a banjo has like a pot, and then it's got flange and a bunch of shoes on it that these screw in, that the drum lugs screw into, and then you got a hoop, and lugs and all that stuff. They just simplified it.
Yeah.
They cast the pot and shoes into one, and then they only have the top, and the flange is molded into the top.
So it's just simplifying all the parts, consolidating some of the parts.
Yeah, it was a different way of doing it. And then they even put the armrest is part of the casting.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is cast in there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all one piece.
Ah, that is really unique. And
So, it's those little subtle details that really show you what they were trying to do at the time, and how cool is that?
That's very, very cool.
That's what makes vintage history fun.
Is there anything on it?
This is it's Gretsch, so it's going to have I think it's got a 3-piece neck on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a center seam right there.
Yeah.
So
Very cool. Very super cool. Love it.